The story behind Everything Falls kind of happened after we wrote it. And I wrote the song as just really a song of hope. There's a story in John 16 where Jesus is talking to his disciples and he says to them, I'm going to tell you this, that you'll have peace in me, and in this world you're going to have trouble. But take heart, because I've already overcome the world. And so the song kind of rises out of that and says, when everything falls apart, your arms hold me together. And when everything falls apart, you're the only hope for this heart. And when everything falls apart and my strength is gone, I find you mighty and I find you strong. You keep holding on. What happened, we wrote the song, and it's an interesting song for us, for people who know our music and kind of know what we do, especially if you're introduced to us like through the radio and through the singles that we've had. This is a different song for us. It's different sounding. It's different in the fact that it's not really a worship song that you would sing at your church maybe on Sunday morning over and over again, at least from week to week. And so we didn't really know what to do with it. And there was a Sunday morning that we were at our church, and between services we were kind of hanging out in the little hangout room for the band, and the TV was on. And on the news station, we saw this amazing scene unfolding. It was about 2 months ago in Maryville, Illinois. And I don't know how much of this you know about or heard, but there was a pastor who was preaching on stage, and a gunman walked in the back of the church and took his life and just shot the pastor. This guy was Dr. Fred Winters, amazing guy, amazing pastor. And we're watching this thing happening, going, this is tragic, and we can't believe this is happening. And then we came to the realization that that's the same church that we're going to play at 5 days from now. And we were looking at there going, what are we going to do? Like, what do you say in that situation? Like, we're going to get on a plane and fly to Illinois and be with these people in 5 days. And we're going to worship God. And what does that look like? Fixing your heart and fixing your eyes on the greatness of God after having walked through such a shocking tragedy. And then I started kind of reeling back to the song that we just wrote about what happens when everything falls apart. What happens when everything that you know is just laying on the ground. And plan A, plan B, plan C, nothing's working out. And you're looking kind of down the path of life, and you see this mountain going, I don't think I can get over this. And so it was like this moment where God was just whispering to us, saying, I've been preparing you for this. I've been giving you songs. I've been giving you my words to say and my words to sing with these people. And we went there, and it was one of the most amazing things we've been a part of. We got to meet the family of this pastor who passed away, his wife Cindy and his daughters Cassidy and Alyssa, the sweet girls who just lost their dad, and got to stand in front of them in their church and say, this night that we're going to experience tonight isn't about a tragedy. Yeah, it was tragic, but that's not what it's about. And it's not about a pastor, and yeah, he's an amazing guy, but it's not about him. It's about a God who's still on the throne and still has the whole world in his hands. And he still has your whole world in his hands. And it was in the context of that night that we saw a body of people who are grieving lift their eyes to Jesus and respond to him in the midst of tragedy with worship. And that's the only response for anything that could ever happen in life, is worship God. He's still worth all of our praise and all of our worship. So it was pretty powerful. 10 years from now, we'll be able to recount the story just like that, because it's so close to our hearts. It's one of those things where you know when you're walking out on a stage in front of a few thousand people that you're literally being the mouthpiece of God. And we really long in our band to keep putting ourselves in situations like that, because we want to carry the message of our God so faithfully. And we do it with a whole lot of noise and excitement and rock and roll at times, but we want to do it with intensity and with real grateful, servant, pure hearts.
You said you'd never leave or forsake me. You said this life is gonna shake me. You said this world is gonna bring trouble, oh my soul. This I know, when everything falls apart, your arms hold me together. When everything falls apart, you're the only hope for this heart. When everything falls apart and my strength tragedy has found me, I still believe your faithful arms will never let me go. Still I know when everything falls apart, your arms hold me together. When everything falls apart, you're the only hope for this heart. When everything falls apart and my strength is gone, I'll find you mighty and strong. You keep holding on, you keep holding on, yeah. Sorrow will last for the night, but hope is rising with the sun. It's rising with the sun. There will be storms in this life, but I know you have overcome. You have overcome. When everything falls apart, your arms hold me together. When everything falls apart, you're the only hope for this heart. When everything falls apart and my strength is gone, I'll find you mighty and strong. You keep holding on. When everything falls apart, your arms hold me together. When everything falls apart, you're the only hope for this heart. When everything falls apart, my strength is gone, I'll find you mighty and strong. You keep holding on, you keep holding on. You're mighty and strong. You can hope, you can rise, you can stand. He's still got the whole world in his hands. You can rise, you can hope, and you can stand. He's still got the whole world in his hands. You can rise, you can hope, and you can stand. He's still got the world in his hands. You can rise, you can hope, and you can stand. He's still got the whole world